Recording in progress. Hello, my friends, my fellow Harmonauts. I haven't said that in so long. It feels good. So welcome, everyone, to this very, very first DAO call. At the end of the day, you know, I want to start having these maybe every other week, maybe once a month. It really depends on what we need and what we how we can really come together as a community, as a culture, and really break the mental mold that historically we've really had stuck in our brains about how working works. So on that, I just wanted to make sure I recognize, you know, we are at the cutting edge of organizing in crypto, cross borders, cross finance, cross chain. It's all absolutely insane. And so you're all going to have to be very patient with everybody else as we really trailblaze this new way of working. There's a lot of stuff that we know that works. There's a lot of stuff we know that doesn't work. And there's also a ton of stuff that we have no idea what we're doing, honestly, at the end of the day. But what makes it really great is we have the opportunity to work together and accomplish some really great things. So I know that there are a bunch of questions about how DAOs will actually work, or when elections will happen, or when financing will be distributed, and how that whole thing will work. At the end of the day, DAOs are member managed, which means that you people who are participants in the DAO, you guys are the ones who decide how this actually works out. There's not some kind of a top-down hierarchy here at all. It's just we're all coming together and all trying to make it happen. So with that, I'm going to put Lee on the spot a little bit. Lee, I know that, are we all showing off our Harmony things? Look, we got Harmony t-shirts, we got Harmony eyeballs. I got this from somebody. Lee, where do we get these from? You handed them out to me after ETHCC. Bruno
made them in his house.
Yeah, it's a 3D printer. So Lee, do you want to say a few words? I know that you jumped on. I don't know if you have anything specifically you wanted to talk about.
I actually wanted to meet everyone who's doing DAO work with Harmony. And probably, I think Sam already prepared everything, looked through all the docs. I just want to thank everyone actually for working together, and it is really exciting. We can tell you our excitement about DAOs for the next 6 months, but I think there's also my personal excitement about DAOs for the next 10 years, which is this is how we're going to organize all of human activity, whether it's like basically we can scale this to a country scale, right? And Harmony, why us, is we really, like, right now crypto is a very small community. Like this is it. The people on this call, we're the ones doing the DAO things, and we're gonna go to Denver. Actually, everyone who is interested, there's a big DAO event in Denver. A couple of you are coming. We can't get you all tickets to actually go to the actual events, but if you come, we'll make sure you have a good time through some of the side events and just some of the activities. Adrian, PJ, Globy, Sam, who else on this call is going? A couple other people. But yeah, I think actually Sam's going to talk. He has a very well-prepared presentation, but I actually want to get to know more people on this call and what you guys are excited about, what you're interested in. But yeah, just wanted to say hi.
Excellent. Then what we're going to do is, rather than diving straight into the presentation, I actually do want to do a little bit of a roundtable. We have our population here is not too large, and so we can do a very quick, and make sure we keep it quick because we want to keep the call time length to a reasonable level. Let's just go really quickly around and introduce yourself and mention any of the DAOs, Harmony DAOs that you are currently working with, or any of the non-Harmony DAOs that you're working with. Yeah, let's just go from there. I'm not going to have you do something, a fun fact about yourself. I'm not going to do that. Favorite book, not going to do that. So just yourself and the DAOs that you're working on, and I'm going to actually call on people. So I'm going to start with Jimbo. Do you want to kick it off?
Hi, I'm Jimbo. I am with the Validator DAO, currently acting as the secretary, and that's about the only thing I'm participating with currently.
Terrific. Thanks, Jimbo. Colin, I'm going to call on you next. You're on mute, though. Don't forget, everyone, you're on mute until you put yourself on.
Until you unmute me. Got you. It's weird having the power now. Hello, everybody. My name's Colin. I'm with the Community DAO officially, and I've also been working on helping the charity DAOs and a handful of the regional DAOs kind of talk amongst each other and develop into a forum. It's been a fun time. It's nice to meet everybody.
Thanks, Colin. All right, Nick, I'm going to have you jump in now next.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Too many Nicks here, actually. Yes.
I will be calling on your screen name, not on like your actual name. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay. Hey, guys, it's Nick. It's Validators DAO, and I also supposed to build a CIS community DAO. This is Russian-speaking countries. And for me, DAO is very important right now because I see the sentiment and I follow this strongly that DAO today is whereas NFT was a year ago. So I see the big, the great potential in DAOs, and especially in DAOs for harmony when we are in the stage that we should and have to build great communities around the technology we have already. So guys, thanks. It's Nick.
Thanks, Nick. All right, business time. The other Nick, go ahead. Make sure you unmute yourself.
Got it. Hey, good morning, everyone. Sorry for the confusion. Too many Nicks, like you said. Business time here. I've been working with the Community DAO. Look forward to seeing what we can progress and help out the community. I'm also involved in helping run the unofficial harmonauts.org kind of trading channel as well. And we also recently launched harmonauts.org, which is going to be kind of a community knowledge base, allowing people to get more information on Harmony. And we've got some great things in the coming down the road with that, and I'm excited to share with the community.
Excellent. Thanks, Biz. Biosensi, you're next.
Hey there, I'm Biosensi. I'm working with the Community DAO. I'm helping, hopefully, to improve the difference between the newcomers and the already experienced. So that's what my work will be all about.
Awesome. Okay, PJ, you can jump in next.
Hey everyone, I'm PJ. Working with Harmony. I think I know most of you and had conversations with you. And I'll be here for literally anyone that needs help with any of your DAOs or just want to talk or get to know the community. So nice to see y'all.
All right, Jack, you're up next.
Hi there. Haven't been involved in DAOs, and we'll be looking forward to join one or two soon. I've been a long time validator, so I think that will be the natural next fit.
Fantastic. All right, Sir Sapien, you're next.
Hello, Sir Sapien, and I am with the Community DAO, and glad to meet you all, and excited for the future.
Awesome. All right, Jeremy, you're going to be next.
Morning, guys. Globy NFT over here. Also work with the Community DAO, and yeah, super excited to be here.
Awesome. All right, John, you're up next.
Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, John Whitten, you may know me. I used to work at Harmony's building out the ecosystem. I'm back helping out mainly on the incubator DAO, basically getting people building on Harmony sort of funded and launched and actually driving growth. So yeah, excited to be here.
Awesome. Adrian, we're bringing you up next.
Hey, what's going on? I am going to be helping do video about your guys' DAOs.
Yeah. Adrian's great. He just came on board and we're very excited to have him on.
Yeah, I think this is like, my last day at my agency was on Tuesday. So been a couple days, but we've already smashed some YouTube averages. So not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Especially if you're in there with the Millennium Falcon. That's great. Maybe it's not the Millennium Falcon. It looks like the Millennium Falcon. All right, Brendan, you're up next.
It is.
Well, hey everyone, I'm a little out of my league here. Mostly I'm following Colin's lead. He's been kind enough to put out some really great information and ideas where maybe I can be useful. But, my story is that I work in local government in Napa, California, and kind of linked up with all the industry groups, and I can see a lot of need for innovation there. And I've done studies on innovation in municipal service delivery, but I don't know a heck of a lot that helps you guys, so I'm just kind of here to learn. Also, shout out to Tim. I've got most of my one staked with you.
Perfect. All right, Bruno, we're going to have you go next.
Yeah, hello. Hello, everybody. I'm currently not in a DAO, but I'm looking forward to be one and to help.
Awesome. All right, Tim, you're up. You're on mute, buddy.
Okay, I'm
There.
Tim, Strong Minds Whole Validator, and I guess overall community servant. I work with a lot of people in here with the DAOs in the background. So
Terrific. All right, Give, go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. Give from Harmony. I guess I'm part of the DAO task force at Harmony along with Sam and Jack and Lee and other folks. I'm trying to find the right tools, the right setup so we can scale out our DAOs and have better governance, kind of management tools in place. So I'm just here to learn what you're all doing.
Nice. All right, rock the blockchain. Big Daniel, you're up, buddy. Don't forget you're on mute, though.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, guys. Yeah, this is Daniel. Run the validator, rock the blockchain, and Reddit mod. Also here to just kind of see what's going on with the DAOs. I'm not a member myself, but more than happy to help out wherever I can.
Terrific. All right, everyone, please welcome the newest dad in the Harmony community, CryptoWolf of all streets. Congratulations.
Thank you very, 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 very much.
I can't believe you're actually awake. That's amazing. Having had 3 kids myself.
Still. I'm up still. So yeah, I'll crash at some point. let's not make this all about me. I'm obviously Crypto's Wolf of all streets. I am your friendly neighborhood community manager. Yes, I am a dad. Woohoo! I'm here for each and every one of you. Always have been, always will be. Whatever you need, my door's open for you guys. You know that. I've spoke to many of you. We're all in so many different chat rooms, and it's like we come and go from one to the other. It's just crazy. But yeah, I'm here for all of you. Whatever you need. I'm not specifically in a DAO at the moment, though I may be at some point. I'm not sure. But I'm here to help in any way I can. Yeah, if you need consultation, if you need assistance, if you just want to chat, if you want to run an idea by me, anything at all, I'll be glad to help. So
yeah. All right, we're gonna go to Victor next.
Oh, hi guys. Just testing my thing.
Yes, everything's
Victor from Malaysia. It's great to put a face to everyone's name. I've been in the crypto since 2017. I'm working with Charity DAO in Colin. I joined after the first hackathon. So I built out a lottery app. So it's great to meet everyone. I'm really excited to join this community. I mean, everyone's super motivated and excited as well.
Well, welcome. Hey, Mr. Pete, who has actually more children than I think all of us combined. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Peter Abilla. I'm with Harmony, and I just want to call out something Tim said that I think is really instructive for all of us. He called himself a community servant, and I think that's a really good worldview to have. We're all here together to help each other and to really help grow the Harmony community ecosystem, and this is our network, and so it's up to each one of us to help it grow. So good to be here.
Welcome. All right, Cannon, we're going to go to you next.
Hello, everyone. I'm Janer or Kenner, whatever it fits. It doesn't matter. So I've been with Harmony for 2 years, and right now I manage the Turkish community, and I'm just being integrated into DAOs, and I will learn about it right now.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome. Bricktop, you're up next, bud.
Thank you, Sam. I'm bricked up. I'm helping out with the community DAO. Just like a lot of other people here, I'm feeling very lucky to be involved with DAOs and very honored to be part of that with Harmony. I think it's going to be changing the world in an amazing way, and it's just incredible to be involved so early into the start of this journey with Harmony and the rest of you guys as well. And let's see where we can take it. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, Lorraine, you're gonna have to introduce yourself.
Okay, guys, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
I can. Yeah.
I'm camping out in a campsite with not so great Wi-Fi, so apologies with the video. Anyway, it's happy to meet you all. So excited how many are actually here for this initial meeting. This is very exciting for DAO times. I am a part of Meta Gamma Delta DAO, which is a female empowerment DAO. We do small grants for female-led initiatives and projects. I'm part of DX DAO, not really actively right at the moment, but still dip in and out of there just to check on things and see what they're up to and how their governance is going. They have a really, really good decentralized governance model for their DAO. They've been very successful. I initiated Prime DAO back in maybe about a year ago now, I guess. I can't remember exactly the time, but initiated that and did an IDO with Prime DAO. And now I'm going to be building out alongside Sam and a few others in here, the Incubator DAO with Harmony, which I'm so thrilled and excited to start. And also deepdao.io is going to be launching a DAO that I will be assisting with. So yeah, happy to meet you all. And yeah, so yeah.
Lorraine is a legitimate rock star. I'm so excited to have her on board. I've been working with her pretty closely over the last couple of weeks, and she has become incredibly valuable advisor and resource to what we're building over here. So thank you, Lorraine, and thank you for joining the call. All right, Gion, hop on, bud. You're up next. Hi, guys. This is Gion from India, is what he says into the chat. From the community DAO. Here to observe all. I'm trying to help some of the Harmony community groups like the Validator, Incubator, and OSWAP, and others. Sorry, I won't be able to talk. I'm having dinner, and I'm not allowed to talk on the phone. Sorry about this. You got it. Don't worry about it, mate. Let's see. Popping over to the next person on the list, I think is John Asu.
AKA Muffers. I forgot.
AKA Muffers.
Yeah, Muffers one. I'm on the validator DAO. Spent a lot of time working behind the scenes for Harmony. Yeah, I'm a full proponent of decentralization. I like the idea of the community having control and not allowing any single or group of people to have any sort of existential powers. And I really think that it's been a bit crazy from the start here, but I think we're heading in the right direction, and that sort of that ethos appears to be pushed, and I look forward to it playing out for now and for the future. Yeah, like what I think Lee said it before, it's not about what we're doing now. We have to think about how it's going to affect things in like 10 years from now. We don't know who's going to be there or what they're going to be doing, so we have to lay a solid foundation now. I look forward to it. Nice to see you. Nice to see you all in the flesh as well. Nice to see everybody's face.
Nice to see you as well. All right, Dragon, I think you're our last one, but not least. Definitely not least. You're amazing, Dragon.
Late but not least. Sorry, guys. Glad I can make it. It's a little early for me on my schedule. I'm 2 hours early, but I rushed in here and then I had tech issues. The updates had to be done for Zoom, so I apologize, guys. But very excited to be here. I'm glad I made it. Not to keep anybody waiting. I'm currently involved with COPS team, community operations over in Telegram. If you know me there, I'm sure you've seen me. Also helping out in Discord. Working around in the back rooms with the DAOs, trying to get everything set up, and here we've finally arrived where we're all having a meeting and we all get to talk. And I am, like everybody else, I'm sure, very excited to be here and see what kind of greatness we can build out of these things. And Harmony is the place to do it for me. So I'm glad to be here, guys. I'm super excited. Still waking up. Forgive me, but I'm here.
Welcome. All right, so I think that covers everybody. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen because I want to dive in a little bit into kind of what, at the end of the day, what I need to do and what we all need to do is start trying to understand what a DAO is, what a DAO isn't, what are we trying to do, what do we know, what do we not know, what tools do we have to accomplish this. So I want to kick off with this great quote from Owaki, Kevin. He talks about how other hiring managers wants you to fill out a long form, a hiring, CRM, and go through a 5-step interview process. Most of us have done this before. We've experienced this. But for DAOs, I want you to join a Telegram chat where we all work together on something big and just let me know when you want to settle up. They're not the same, right? These type of people, this type of concept, they're not the same. There's a little bit more risk, a little bit more action involved. So let's try and understand just a touch about what a DAO is, what a decentralized autonomous organization actually is. Now, for me, I kind of frame it as a book club with a bank account. And I've seen that a couple other times. And so I'm not sure if that's uniquely my idea or if I grabbed it maybe even from Larray, maybe instituted it, which is why I put probably on my quote. But at the end of the day, you have a very flat structure like what you're seeing in front of you that has a shared interest, right? That they're come together over something that is material to them. And they're really looking to do something interesting like a book club, read really cool sci-fi books, right? Or validator nodes, or do cutting edge research on functional programming. And they have in common a set of assets, right? Most of the time we talk about this in terms of a bank account or maybe even a multi-sig wallet. And that requires multiple people to all agree to disperse these funds. But that means that we need to have some voting. So decisions around the project, if you think about it, are put to a community vote. So if we are a book club, then we need to vote on what book we're gonna,
Sam,
read next. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think there's a glitch on your screen. We're seeing these like gray boxes covering your presentation.
Let's see.
I see that as well.
All right, where are the gray boxes covering the presentation?
It's kind of seems random.
Just
there
at
we
the
go.
top.
Now it's gone.
Yep. Gone.
But you're seeing
you're sharing.
No, it's back. It's back.
No, it's
like
back.
the whole top right, the whole middle of your screen at the top. Yeah, there.
Okay,
there,
so yeah, it's the
there,
it's the Zoom interface.
Yeah, my guess is you're sharing a screen and not the whole desktop, and so therefore the Zoom stuff's blocking some stuff out.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to change that share. Thank you, Gabe, for jumping in and letting me know. I'm pretty sure that's why we have 11 comments in the chat saying, Sam, something's wrong. So let's change this up a little bit. All right. Now, what do you guys currently see?
Yeah, you've still got the box.
Blocks at the bottom.
Yeah.
No worries. Right.
Maybe if you close all the other screens off, I don't know, and like make everything small, and then just show the one screen. It won't try and hide.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. What's up?
If you can't sort out, you can drag the Zoom interface to the side of the screen or the bottom, maybe if it's not possible.
Let's see. All right. Let's see if we do that. And now, what do you guys see? Are there the boxes?
Looks good so far.
No, you're
when you go full screen?
All good.
If I go full screen, I think we'll end up with boxes in the bottom, but let's find out. Okay, you probably have boxes down here.
Yep.
Yeah.
No
so is it covering any of the content?
Not at this point.
It's okay now.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay. So I just try to push it all down to the side. Okay, now you guys totally ruined my flow. I mean, come on. Now I have to figure out what the heck I'm talking about. I actually have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, well, let me pause. Actually, this is a good place to pause and say, is this sort of information helpful? When we talk about what a DAO is, I want to make sure that what we are really addressing is stuff that's helpful for you guys to put it in the proper mental framework. Do you guys think that's okay? Anyone can unmute and ask and answer the question.
I think it's okay.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. So when I think about DAOs, I want to make sure that we look at them in the proper way. And the first thing that I think about is the fact that they're non-monogamous. I'm stealing that phrase from something else. Obviously, it doesn't mean non-monogamous. It's possible and it's encouraged to join and work with multiple DAOs, right? We're able to do, we can be part of the community DAO. We can be part of the incubator DAO. We can be part, like Lorraine, she's part of 15 different DAOs. And that's exactly what should be happening. Because what happens is this is the future of work. This is the ability to go out and do anything that I'm materially interested in participating in. It's self-directed. The other thing that's very important about DAOs, and this, I cannot stress this highly enough, is the transparency. Even if it is not pretty, there should be no privileged information in a DAO. There should be no informational asymmetry. This is something that can come all the way down to registering whether or not tokens, gov tokens in a DAO are considered securities or not. It has to do with this idea of informational asymmetry. And then finally, it's totally flat and it's totally fluid. There are no consistent members. People go in, people go out. And it's also, there's no bosses, right? There are no managers. There's nobody that's coming in and telling you, you have to do A, B, and C today or you're going to get fired. And that's also very important to think about for the future of work. The thing that I want to encourage as best as I can, and this is happening across the scheme in crypto, although it's slowing down a little bit, which I'm encouraged, and I think it's slowing down in part because of DAOs, is this concept of tribalism, right? We sometimes can view our own particular blockchain protocol, like Harmony, as almost a religion, where we get converted to it and then we go out and proselytize and try and convert other people to come in. And we even hold calls like this. That could be equivalent to going to mass on a Sunday, right? But we need to be more open than that. We need to be, especially when it comes to DAOs, we need to be able to get out of our own comfort zone and the own area that we have and embrace the thinking and thoughts that come from everybody else. And there's a little bit of a reason to that. Let's see. Oh, I'm skipping too far ahead. Okay. So
I think you're winning us over with this preach, Sam.
Wait,
but
what was
I
that?
think Nick may have a question.
Oh, Nick, your hand is raised. Go ahead, buddy.
No, not a question at all, because it was related to that blocks on your screen, but Give just interrupted you without it. So, yeah.
No,
My
you're good.
hand is outdated right now, but I definitely have some questions in the end of the.
Yeah, I'll definitely get some question and answer period in just a minute, because part of what I'm trying to do is I really want to break this mental mold, this organizational structure between having this top-down hierarchy over to this more flat structure. And there's a specific reason why. This flat structure that you have over here, that's actually not a representation of a DAO. It's actually a representation of a viral infection in a population. And that's the point. DAOs themselves have the potential to have a viral growth and to have a viral dominance. If you think about the power between something that is more designed and hierarchical, and you're looking at, say, anthrax versus something like the flu, yes, anthrax is, oh, we have someone's on, let's see.
You can force mute people.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Or please mute yourselves.
Mute all. Okay. There you go.
So many blocks right now on the screen, Sam. Sorry.
Yeah, there are a lot of blocks on the screen because I had to bring up my interface. All right, there. Now the block should go away. So to go back to this, think about the difference between anthrax and the flu, right? One is highly regimented, highly organized, and it can be really powerful and it can have a huge impact. That's anthrax. But then what about the common cold? What about the flu? It can't be stopped. It will be with us forever. And that's what DAOs are. This flat structure, this ability to infect and cross-pollinate and bring people all together will have a persistence that can outlast any sort of organizational structure. If you look at the S&P 500 over the last 50 years, the average age of those companies no more than 30 years old. And we want to build a model that will persist way beyond 30 years. Okay, so talking about how long it will persist. We have various different stages, and it's really important to think about the bootstrapping, the operational, the self-sustaining, and whether or not DAOs should die. At the end of the day, there will be a little bit of centralization at the very beginning when we kick off. And we need to understand that at the end, if the material interest of the entire community has been fulfilled, it's okay that it can dissolve. But in that process, between the beginning and the end, we have to make sure that there's a self-sustaining flywheel that will then also pay the people who work for the DAO for the work that they're doing, because that's vital. People need to be paid. Like, we don't need to live off of people's volunteer work. So let's talk. I'm going to pause really quickly here and open it up for questions and comments. We're going to get into a little bit about how the Harmony DAOs are actually going to work, but that was my main section, my main point of conversation about the mental model and how we need to change it. So jump on in, anyone. PJ, any questions you have? Giv says he likes my DAO puns. Welcome to the next level of memes.
I'm on the other side. I don't like the DAO puns.
Undoubtedly, you don't like the DAO puns, PJ.
I have a quick question, Sam. Obviously, we're aiming for a big number of DAOs, and we want it to kind of flourish that way. But currently, do we have an idea of how many kind of DAOs are in the work for Harmony? Because I've heard of so many, and every time I have these conversations, I hear of another one popping up. I mean, do we have a rough idea of where we are with this right now?
Yeah, let me actually just bring up that slide immediately, because I was going to show a little bit about what we're doing. It's actually the exact next slide. So the endowed, sorry, PJ, I'm really sorry, mate. The endowed DAOs, and then the more organic ones. So the endowed ones, these are the ones that the Harmony Foundation itself are working on setting up and running, because we believe that there are certain things that we know need to be addressed and that are high priorities, that are very important. Communities, validators, research, incubation, wallets, creative, or your marketing DAO. The Spanish speaking, because we need to reach out to that entire population. Developers, protocols. There's one spot we have that's kind of a TBD. But all of those we've identified as areas. But there's also a bunch of organic examples that are coming out. I mean, Vinci's a DAO, and Venom DAO, and Token Jenny's a DAO, and Moonity has a DAO, the charity DAO. And there are many more that I'm sure exist that I haven't even looked at yet. And those go ahead.
So I was going to say, is what you're saying is in the future, there's potential for anybody to set up a DAO if they feel it's necessary.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. If they think it's necessary, there are two paths, of course, to go down it. See, it's like you read my presentation beforehand. There are two paths you can go down. You can either go, look, I want to create a DAO that gets backing and kickstarting and seeding from the foundation itself. So how do we do a community source endowment? The other way to go about it is you can create your own DAO using the tools that we're bringing on board for Harmony in general, and bootstrap it through a token issuance, through a governor token, or through crowdfunding. And this is the beautiful thing about DAOs, is that you can receive the funds from anywhere. For those community source DAOs, I have thrown up, and we're working on the document in docs.harmony.1 about how this would work. What are the main principles that are necessary for us to look at it as being, kind of ready for us to put some money into it, but it's not sufficient, which means if you have the mandate, if you've done the formation, if you've done the election and rotation, if you understand the nature of fluidity, that doesn't necessarily mean that we will fund it, but to be considered to be funded from a community source DAO, these things need to be in place. And so the mandate, we've been talking about the mandates a lot over the last couple of weeks. They're threefold. They have two descriptions. I threw up the two mandates from the community DAO and the validator DAO. It's growth, engagement, diversity from the community DAO, and decentralization, security, and participation for the validator DAO. And they have sub mandates or descriptors behind each one of those particular mandates that flesh out the idea behind it. Nick, I think you raised your hand.
Yeah, actually related to this slide and related to these criteria for DAO, because following your first part of the presentation, just it's kind of unmanaged flow of DAOs and unmanaged what's going to happen within the DAO. But at the end of the day, we have this structure, which is formalize us with the formation, with election and rotation, and so and so. How should we correlate with this? Because, for instance, even DAOs themselves can decide how long they should operate in this. And, for instance, if the DAO want to reach the formation of 9 governance, if it can be only 8, for instance, and there is no other volunteers to join, or maybe this could be even 12 people who want to contribute and get different roles, which is also could be valuable for the DAO on the DAO members' opinion. So why should we follow this specific structure? Or
the answer is there's no reason why to follow this specific structure. This specific structure is what we at the Harmony Foundation will look at when we are considering whether or not to fund them. DAOs can be organized in any different way. The reason why we like to have the mandate is because it shows a clear alignment on what that material interest is that brings the community together. The reason why we like 9 governors is because that is there is this number of signatories that both facilitates not putting too much burden on any 1, 2, 3, 4 particular multi-sig signatories, but also is resistant to corruption a little bit, right? There's this nice boundary, which is kind of what we're going for. Regarding the election and rotation, again, it has to do with trying to make sure that we don't create a social norm of a manager, of somebody who's officially in charge. And so by rotating these signatories every 3 months, it creates the idea that, look, this is a flat organization. There will be natural leadership that crops up. There will be natural people who are way better at one particular thing than another particular thing. Lee is phenomenal at organization. Pete is really, really good at marketing. And so they will naturally rise to the surface in those particular organizations. And then being able to understand the fluidity. The reason why this is important is because there is a very clear, and this is controversial, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of people are very, very cautious and very, very careful about the appearance of a conflict of interest or self-dealing. Now, if I'm in one DAO and I'm doing one simple thing and I'm trying to pull all of the funds and all of the resources and all that stuff from that DAO into my own personal pocket, yeah, that looks bad. But if I am in multiple DAOs, if I'm going across 10, 15 different DAOs, and I'm entering them and I'm leaving them all the time, even the Wyoming DAO LLC law has recognized that the nature of DAOs is fluid enough that the idea of conflict of interest and self-dealing is lessened. It's less of a threat in a DAO than it would be in a traditional organization. And so it's just kind of understanding that concept. Does that help answer your question a little bit, Nick?
Yeah, actually, yes. And if I got you right, so the contribution of the DAO members is more valuable than just follow the structure. And but there is another question came from your answer, actually. And it's like, what about other DAO members who are not officially elected to the governance or to the council, but they also should be how to say, it's like incentivized somehow, because the original design of this DAO was like a protocol coded that incentivize all the participants, doesn't it? Yeah, that incentivize all the participants, yes, and no matter how they contribute to this.
So that's very, so let me, I don't know if it may be the very next slide. No, this is I'll come back to this one. I'll come back to this. Okay. This is, I think, where we want to go next to answer that question, Nick, is what does this mean from an actual participant, an actual person who is working in the DAO space? So I want to look at specifically Coordinate. The second issue here, the getting vouched on Coordinate. Coordinate is a fantastic tool that I've been exploring well, and I've been bringing on a bunch of other people internally to test it out. And it is a tool for participation, coordination, and reputation. And what this does, it's like that viral infection map that we saw earlier. It creates this social graph of all the people who have worked together, self-selecting, right? So I'll go in there by myself and I'll say, okay, this last epoch, this last 2 weeks, this last month, whatever the epoch is, I've worked with these 10 people and I highlight them. And then I give them give tokens. It's the token that they use on Coordinate to show how I personally valued their contributions in the projects we worked together. So for example, this last week we had Lee and Give and a couple of others were testing it out. And Lee decided he got 100 tokens like everybody got at the beginning of the epoch. And he decided, you know what, Give is more valuable than anybody else I work with. And so he gave Give 90 of his tokens and I got one. But the idea is that's exactly how it should work, honestly, is that it's not just about the fact that, yes, I worked with, these 5 people, but person number 2 happened to be one of the most influential and did the most work in this particular project. And I am going to recognize that in our coordination and in our participation. Now, the thing that becomes really interesting, if you scale this forward a little bit, think about 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road, which in crypto is like, 20 years. What you're going to start seeing is the people that have these give tokens, these participatory tokens, it's going to create a reputation system that I have worked with these DAOs in these different ways, and I've been recognized this number of times in my contribution. So it becomes a signal to be able to authenticate my identity that is on chain, that can be melded with our crazy.ones or our wallet addresses. And it can become the system that we're able to use to both empower our pseudo-anonymity, but also understand who it is we're working with on the other side. It's not just an email address that anyone can sign up for, but it's a fully verified identity. It's a really, really cool attribute. So I'm going to pause there really quick. Jimbo, of course, says he wants to make sure that he's the face, that Give is the face of the token. So we'll have to get a good little headshot of Give and put him on the Give token. Okay, let me back up a little bit because I also want to talk about this, because this is the thing that we're doing right now to increase those DAOs beyond the 10 that we've already highlighted, to talk really about that DAOs do equal community, but they also equal traction. So right now we're doing this $1 million bridging TradeFi to DeFi hackathon. And we have 3 different themes. And within those 3 different themes, there are 4 tracks for each. So effectively there are 12 potential prize packages. And we're looking at cross-chain wallets. We're looking at cross-chain bridges. We're looking at social wallets. We're looking at fintech integrations for cross-border payments. And so what you'll be seeing throughout the next couple of months are projects that get that through a variety of judges and participants and all this stuff, they reach a level of traction where they've become a DAO. They have had a significant number of votes within a short period of time on Snapshot, and that they get an extra $10,000 grant for growing and showing the traction. So I wanted to highlight this right now because this is a big initiative, and I wanted to, advertise this as far and as wide as possible. And let me check my chat. Let's see. Jimbo says, like Venom DAO. Yes. I don't know. All right. So we talked a little bit about this. And then finally, I just want to end on this. We talk about things being day one all the time. This is a principle, obviously, that we know pretty well from the early days of Amazon, that they talk about it being day one at Amazon, day one of the internet. It's definitely day one in crypto, definitely day one in Harmony. And it's like not even hour, it's like minute 2 for DAOs on Harmony. And the principle behind having it be day one is that we need to make sure that we have a planning and a vision for the long term, and that we're focused on the people. In Amazon, they're always focused on the customers. But for us, our customers are our people. Blockchains are built on the communities. They're built on the back of all of you wonderful people on this call, and all the people in our chat groups, and all the people that Dragon and Wolf engage with on a day-to-day basis, and Daniel over on Reddit. Like, that is what Harmony is these people. And so we need to keep our focus on that. But we also have to be bold and fearless in our innovation. We have to stay curious. We have to stay nimble. We have to be experimental. And this is one of the things that's been a little tough, and we've seen some, rocky roads the last, month or two as we've been rolling out the DAO process, is that there are things that we have done that have not been 100% successful. There are things that we've done that may be mistakes, but that's fine. Because when we're talking about day one, when we're talking about minute one in the DAOs on Harmony, we need to be as brave as we can so we can fail, not in isolation, but we fail in a way that we can learn from it and we can apply those lessons learned. That's why some of the things that we wrote 2 months ago, 3 months ago, about what we wanted to do with the validator DAO and what we wanted to do with the community DAO, that has changed slightly. The 9 governors have changed from the 5 ones that were elected in the initial council. There are a variety of things that have changed because we went out and we did something and realized that there were better ways to do it. So there you go. That's basically what I wanted to say. I also wanted to say, you guys, this is exciting. I'm thrilled, and I'm open to questions, comments, criticisms, always. And I'm very, very excited to have all you guys along with us on this journey. Thank you. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Looks like we have, let's see. Perfect. All right, so what kind of questions do you guys have? I know that there are some logistic day-to-day questions. What else do you guys want to talk about? Oh, thanks, Lorraine. Lorraine's excited to be here. We're excited to have you here, Lorraine. All right, so Colin, did you have a question?
Kind of a thought. I don't mean to hold you up. I apologize. What do you see being the most immediate move for the current DAOs in terms of immediate structure?
That's a good question.
Just an example.
Yeah. So that's a good question. So we've obviously been working pretty hard to get to a stage where the Harmony Foundation will disperse the actual funds into the multi-sig wallets for the Validator DAO, the Community DAO, the Spanish DAO, and other ones that are being organized. What we are trying to get to is the fact that we have some of those Harmony endowment requirements checked off. So mandate, we have those for several of them. The multi-sig wallet and governor setup. We have multi-sig wallets set up, but right now, both the Validator DAO and the Community DAO are at 5 governors, although we've been adding to both, especially the Community DAO. And I think we're going to run a election. So there's a little bit of a blocker for the little bit, blocker's the wrong word to use. I'm trying to institute quadratic voting on Snapshot to be able to help power the next round of elections so that we can both have a representation of an economic interest, but not allow economic interest to overpower the vote. And so that's in process. And so once we have that sorted and set, then we can, run some elections. Although, to be fair, I'm open to saying, hey, let's just run an election anyway, so that we can just keep moving. So we have both of those. As far as what needs to happen next for the Community DAO and the Validator DAO, yeah, I think that those
could help.
Yeah, go ahead.
You answered my question beautifully. Basically, you've given the timeline on what we're waiting for right now and what we kind of need to be able to make our next steps. So I really appreciate that. That gives a good sense of clarity. And thank you for doing all that work at the quadratic voting. I know you've been at the books for quite a while now, getting all that fluid and making sure that has good form. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that, Colin. No, and the thing is, it's, quadratic voting has been talked about in a lot of different places, but there aren't a whole lot of implementations that we can reference to say, okay, this was done well, this was done this is gameable. And so and effectively, I've now issued a bounty to help make it. So if you guys have any developer friends who want to earn, I think, $2,000 in ones, you guys can hop over to GitHub and take a look at that bounty. I'll be posting it on social later today. And you guys can get involved and see if we can solve that, because the sooner we solve that and institute it, not just for the community or validator DAO, but for anybody using Harmony's snapshot instance, that will be terrific. That'll be really, really helpful. Okay, so Business Time says, Colin, great question. He really likes the question, so props to you, Colin. And Jimbo says that was definitely a question that he had. If we do add members, to the governance, then it needs to be through the election process, and I definitely agree with you, Jimbo. And it looks like, John, you've raised your hand.
Yeah, I had a question about, you said before that there would be some sort of requirements to potentially receive funding from the Harmony Foundation to create the DAO. Now, there's a potential conflict there because, well, first of all, the validator DAO, we will get some funding. This will be released over, well, say 8 months or whatever you said. Fair enough. So imagine somebody, what conditions would a new DAO have? Would they have the same sort of release time? And picture this: if somebody checks all the boxes and they create a DAO, and Harmony says, okay, we will give you funding, but then the community votes against the initial mandates, which you said, what would Harmony do? Would they still receive that funding regardless of the fact that they just, okay, you know what, we voted to say screw the mandate, everything that you said that we have to do, out the window, we're going to do something completely different? What's Harmony stance from that? Would you still give them the funding even if the DAO actually, the community voted against what you initially asked for? Or would you cut off funding? And if you were going to cut off funding, how is that perceived as decentralized?
That, John, that is an excellent question, and it's a very difficult question to answer. Hey, Give, you raised your hand. Are you taking a stab at the answering this question, or do you have a second one?
No, I have a question, but I'll wait.
Okay. All right, Lee, I'm going to see if you have an answer to this question. If not, I can field it.
So yeah, it's a complicated one. I mean, I think the mandates that we set out for the Harmony DAOs are ones that we really thought through, and it's ones that we strongly believe in, that it's what the core team does, right, today. And so the community, I hope the community understands the initial mandates and why we're doing that. Now, the community may have questions or concerns about how it's actually being executed by the community DAO. So let's say the community DAO starts, right, gets the first 50,000, and then does something that just completely is far off, and the community may say, like, this is not what we signed up for. We thought we were giving the community DAO to grow the ecosystem, to bring in new community members, but they're doing something totally different. Then yes, then the community should actually vote against, like, having the community DAO keep working on those things, or there could be new governors that come in after 3 months. So I don't know if that exactly answers your question. Now, if the community says we want a totally different DAO that does XYZ, the foundation can say, like, that's not within our purview, or that's not within our, like, interest in terms of funding. Like, they can obviously start that DAO, right? Don't get me wrong, but there's some specific ones that Sam put on the slide, the 10 on the left. It may be more or less, right? But it's just a way of thinking about what those will do. And a good example, so I'll end after this. A good example is, look at MakerDAO. When they decommissioned the foundation, they had 9 core units within MakerDAO. So you can think of our DAOs as those core units that basically perform certain functions for the team. And I think we do have a strong view on what those core units are, and we think that we will work and talk to the community, make sure that at least those ones are the right units and the right mandates. Now, the execution and deliverables, the community should actually hold the DAOs accountable to actually performing those work and voting and approving future, further on funding of those projects.
Right, right. So Lee mentioned a couple of things, and there are a couple of comments that popped into chat that I also want to address on this same point. Let's see. So Tim talked about the fact that if DAOs are community run and 9 governors are necessary to mitigate the corruption, then all members of the DAOs must be elected by the people for the people. Yes, and also there's a little bit of a wrinkle there. I want to make sure you understand. The people who are being elected are the signatories for the multi-sig wallet. That's all they are. Anybody can join the DAO and anybody can leave the DAO at any time. This is the principle of fluidity. So there isn't an issue about, you know, whether or not, hey, am I cool enough to be part of your club? No. If you are interested in it, you are already part of the club. It's just formalizing the relationship. And to Biz's point, one of the key things will be getting more engagement from the community to be involved in the election process for each DAO. This is kind of interesting because if what you're doing is trying to elect a trustworthy individual who will sign a transaction in a multi-sig contract based on the results of a vote from the community, that election process, you're not necessarily running for office. You're just saying, hey, yeah, I'm willing to raise my hand, and for the next 3 months, I'll be the guy who manages the signature. It is a different set of things than what we think about in a normal election process. So this is one of the reasons why we need to kind of crack that mental mold a little bit. But yes, community participation is absolutely vital. So I'm going to pause there because we have several other hands that are being raised. Give, you brought your hand down. Do you still have a question or a comment?
No, I'm because we're short on time. I'm going to let others ask.
All right, perfect. Adrian, you have your hand up.
Hey, what's going on? You know, new to DAOs, and I'm totally getting what you're saying. The one thing you didn't cover really was what these DAOs do. Like, I'm kind of getting from the conversation that the community DAO runs the community. The wallet DAO runs the wallet. Am I right in saying that? Because you explained what a DAO is, but you don't it's like saying, hey, here's Burger King, here's McDonald's, here's all these other businesses, but you don't know that Burger King makes burgers. Does that make sense? That's kind of where I'm at. You explained that it's like an entity, but you didn't explain what each entity does, you know?
Yeah. It's a good question, and I'll try to answer it fairly straightforward. The idea is it does whatever the community wants it to do. So there's this concept about manager-managed versus member-managed organizations in law that talks about how corporate governance works and whether or not things are considered an investment contract or security. The thing that you look at is, okay, are the people who are involved all have a material interest in the purpose of the organization, right? So imagine it this way. Imagine you're part of a city. We all vote on funding a library, or we all vote on funding roads, right? But the librarians have a much, much larger interest in how the library works. And the people who work on the roads and the transportation have a much higher interest and expertise in how roads work. And so if you break your mental model about your geography defines your politics or your polity, and say, instead of doing that, it's your interest that determines what polity you're part of, I would join the librarian DAO, or I would join the road DAO. And I wouldn't vote on the stuff that the librarians care about because I don't know anything about that over there, right? So instead of thinking, okay, I'm Burger King, I'm selling burgers, it's different. I'm interested in eating burgers, so I'm going to join Burger King. But I'm also going to join the McDonald's DAO, and I'm also going to join the Wendy's DAO because it's non-monogamous, right? Like, I can be part of multiple different DAOs. So hopefully that answers a little bit of the question. I'm going to move on. Jack, you had a question as well?
Yeah, real quick. Maybe it's more of a comment. Are we going to be seeing and sort of guiding DAO setups in a way to say, hey, you know what, these are templates, somebody say a bunch of checklists, maybe sort of like a mission statement or a constitution of some sort, maybe as formal as that. Will that be more of a requirement before these DAOs get funded?
So any DAO can get organized. There's going to be, for the ones that we are hoping will take over some of the core roles, responsibilities, and goals of the Harmony Foundation, they will need to go through that process of kind of running through a mandate. And running through that mandate, we will work with them on figuring out kind of how that fits with the stuff that we're hoping they do. And then, wait, there's a second part to the question. Jack, will you refresh my memory? Sorry, I was reading, Jimbo had some good, Jimbo was writing the other thing in the chat and I was reading his comment. So could you repeat a little bit? I'm not sure if I answered your question directly.
Yeah, I think you sort of did. Okay. And then somebody said that we're working on a charter. So
yeah,
the charter seems like a great term for this.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's hop over to Bricktop.
Thank you, Sam. So, yeah, one of my main concerns is obviously we're creating these DAOs and they're supposed to be sustainable and, you know, hopefully outlast us all and they'll be there when we're good and gone. With regards to the funding of each DAO, I mean, for the community DAO, Colin has done some great research into the sustainability of funds and he's, you know, done some really impressive stuff. I mean, it's for all the DAOs in general. If the money coming into the DAOs isn't sustainable when we're paying 9 governors for the work that they're doing, what happens for these DAOs that are actually funded by the foundation? Do they stop being funded at $1 million and they're told, you know, you need to work this out? Or, you know, is there some sort of plan for in the future? Because if you look at, you know, the potential pay for governors on the DAO, it doesn't give it a very long timeline for, you know, when that can run out and dry up essentially.
Well, for me, one of those steps that we talked about just briefly, and I think we did it more in passing than anything else, was this idea of a self-sustaining DAO. Because we had the bootstrap section, we had the kind of the formation, and then we had self-sustaining. Now, something like the community DAO has a product that we built that we basically will be turning over as a revenue stream called Crazy.ones. And so the community DAO will be receiving, you know, those proceeds. There was some discussion, and Giv, you can remind me if I say this incorrectly, but I think we were going to deploy a lottery game and then just turn that over to benefit the charity DAO, charity focused DAO. But
yeah, in fact, sorry, Colin and Victor on this call know about this.
Oh, excellent.
I'd like to give it up to Victor. He is definitely the artist magician all behind this, and he's created a very wonderful starting platform.
Excellent. But the idea is that the DAO itself, using part of their funds or using the community to help bootstrap it, to crowdfund, can create products that then they just spin off into the ether that create a revenue stream that will help finance the DAO in perpetuity. But the role of Harmony isn't to ensure that you guys are funded in perpetuity. It's to kickstart you. It's to seed you. It's to give you the motivation, the tools, the access that you may need to build something that can last as long as you want it to last. So does that help answer the question?
Yep, certainly. Thank you.
Excellent. So we're about 5 minutes over, but so for me, number one, I was just excited to see all of you guys. I almost killed my laptop with my water. So I was just excited to see all of you guys. I've been working with a lot of you guys in Telegram chats and other chats, so it's just fantastic to be there. And don't hesitate to reach out if you guys have questions. Please forgive me if I'm a little slow to get back to you because, you know, we're all busy doing 10 billion things in 10 different directions. But you guys, we are literally on the cutting edge of what the new future of work will be. Like, corporations have had their day in the sun and they will die. I don't know if it's going to take 5 years or if it's going to take 50 years, but DAOs are going to be the future. And we're right there formatting what's happening. So you guys, thank you for your work. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your innovation, your sweat, and your brilliance. Thank you so much. Lee, any final words before we kick off?
This is amazing. As Sam mentioned, yeah, it's really the frontier. Like I'm excited to be doing this with you guys. I would love to meet some of you, or I know we're all over the world distributed, but we're going to be going to a lot of events this fall. So we're going to be in Denver, New York, Wyoming, Lisbon. We're going to publish a calendar, hopefully very soon. And yeah, love to, yeah, whoever's in town in these areas. I know it still be hard for traveling right now, but I think what taking this conversation on Zoom and then in person or at events is going to be really amazing. And I think actually our community here, you guys have as much understanding of DAOs as any other community, including even Ethereum. Like I was at ECC last month in Paris, and we're basically at the cutting edge with that community as well. So yeah, this is gonna be great.
All right, you guys. So thank you from Harmony to all of you guys. Well, you're all Harmonauts, so go thank yourself, pat yourself on the back, and we look forward to working with you. And now just go out and PJ, just DAO it, man. Just go DAO it. PJ loves the DAO jokes. Oh,
I'm
everybody.
just gonna put all the puns on my Twitter today. I'm just gonna, every time I think of one, I'm just gonna send it out.
And for everybody else, just go after PJ on Twitter, throwing DAO puns at him. Just make it.
This is also gold dad joke material for Wolf.
Exactly. All right, you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you again. All in a DAO work. Nice. DAO jokes. Okay, I will sit here and read all of these forever. But you guys are all wonderful. Thank you so much. And I look forward to engaging with you guys in this next chapter.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you,
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.